Okay, just got the alert. Okay.
Okay, so Kevin, we're live in
Mhm.
three and two and one. Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of Aaron's Opinion, podcast for blind people, where we speak about critical issues in the blindness community and all other issues from across the universe and galaxy. Tonight, we're very glad to be joined by a great friend of Queen Liz, Kevin Roberts. Now is in the studio. So Kevin Roberts, you kind of know what question I'm probably going to ask, and I'm going to ask you that question. So, who is Kevin Roberts? Go.
Thank you very much, Aaron, for the opportunity. And I did get a chance to listen to Queen Liz's podcast episode, and she did an awesome job. And I know if you, those of you who've listened to that episode, know that she mentioned about me helping out with me producing and helping out with 95 Live, which I help her with the website. I I coded the website from scratch almost. Well, actually, I actually use a content management system called Drupal. It's Drupal, which is a content management system, but I used it for the website because I figured why not have something that's free and open source and not have to buy plugins and pay for plugins and to unlock certain features and stuff. So I figured why not go the whole free route, and I did. So I, excuse me, I built that whole website from scratch, and it was actually really fun to build. Had a little bit of hiccups here and there. I'm still having a little bit of hiccups with the formatting. Because HTML is being weird. But anyway, um, well, let's see. I love technology. I've always been interested in technology since I was little. Third grade, fifth grade, whatever. I'm totally blind. I am also hearing impaired as well, so I wear two hearing aids. And I really love helping people. I love meeting new people. I love helping people with their assistive technology. Um, I love doing server hosting, also do web hosting as well for people. I have my own box that I pay for, a dedicated box I pay for out of my pocket. Nobody charges me for this right now. I'm just doing it as a free thing right now. Down the road, I do plan on maybe I charging for services because I need to get some kind of kickback somehow. Um, but yeah, I really enjoy doing it. I know Linux command line really well. I pretty much self-taught myself by reading stuff. I did learn some things from some other people, but most of it was um, most of it was self-taught. I actually recently took my Windows laptop, which is the laptop I'm talking to you guys from. I recently took that. It had Windows 11 on it, and recently took it and turned it into a Linux machine. But I'm running Windows right now instead of a VM, Windows 10 actually right now. I saw the Windows 11 VM in another program, but on this laptop. But but yeah, I self-taught myself all that stuff, reading guides, reading tutorials, and I really enjoy doing this. I really have enjoyed doing this. Liz approached me, trying to think, 2 or 3 months ago, I think, or something or more. I don't remember when exactly. But she approached me. Me and her were close. Me and her best friends. We are. I try to help her as much as I can. With stuff. And she just randomly asked me, "Hey, do you want to help with my station?" And I said, "Yeah," because desperately needed help. Because some stuff happened in the past that never was getting done, and the person that was originally doing it was well taking forever. So, um, so she asked me if I would help her with code the website. I said, "Sure, I'll do it." So I did, and I also help her with the automation stuff, the Azuracast, the which is what runs the automation and the DJ to be able to have DJs connect and stream. And yeah, it's been really fun. It's been really fun. I also some of the stuff I host on my box myself is Team Talk servers, websites. I only have one website right now because I my own, which I'm actually working on rebuilding because I had some issues with it, but I'm actually working on rebuilding. My website is called PaleAudition.xyz. It's or Pale Audition Web Hosting is what I call it. It used to be called way back in the day, General Hosting way back in the day, but I had to change the name because it kept getting attacked left and right. So I had to kind of change it. So it's been Pale Audition for a while now. I bought cPanel and doing cPanel stuff. I bought it and paid for it as well. So trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, I just love help. I love help people with technology, and I help in clinics from time to time.
9 o'clock p.m.
So yeah, and I think that's pretty much it. The website, like I said, has been fun building. We're still working on it. It's in progress still. We're working on getting a contact page up there. We're working on getting a contact page. People can contact us. I will say this because Liz plugged this, and I will plug it too. We also have a Discord server, the Knife Have Live Discord server. So if any, it'll be up there on the website as well. Had to plug it. So but yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's pretty much it. But anything else anything else you can think of to ask, that I'll be happy to ask, or if anybody needs any help, website stuff or whatever, I'll be happy to help as I can. If there's something I don't know, I'll try to do the research and find it. I got to work on figuring out now how we're going to do a schedule page on the station. Right now, we don't have one right now. I got to figure out how to do it because I want to be able to have it set to where it just repos time zones, and then have the people do the conversion. So that's going to be a work in progress. Working on that. If there's anything else I can't think of at the moment. But that's pretty much it. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell, anyway, or as much as I can think of it at the moment.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's excellent, Kevin. Yeah, so if someone were to come to you and say, "Hey, Kevin, how does designing a website really work? What are some key features that you feel all websites need, and how does it really work?"
Well, for one, a website needs accessibility for one, which I make all my websites accessible the best I can. I don't do anything with images because I can't see the images. So any image design or whatever, they would have to have a sighted person help with that, make sure it's set in the right place. But basically, the thing I look for in the website is I ask the person first, what do you want to use the website for? What's your main purpose for it? What do you want on the site? And that's what I do with 95 Alive. I asked Liz, I was like, me and her work together. I asked her, I said, what do you want to have on it? And she said, like a home page, an about page, a listen page, a team talk page, contact us page, and about us page and whatnot. And that and an application and apply form for DJs. That's basically the framework that I worked off of. And then she gave me what she wanted to put on the site. She could, people can give me what they exactly want, and I can copy and paste exactly what they want so they can have it exactly the way they want it. As far as the coding goes, I know basic HTML. I do not know PHP. I do not know PHP yet. I know the basic HTML stuff. I am not proficient in the styling stuff, like the CSS styling stuff, because I don't mess with that kind of thing. But I do know how to do headings. I do know how to do links. I do know how to do I don't know how to do frames. I hadn't done that. I hadn't had anybody had any need for that yet. So, but I basically know the basics of HTML, but I can pretty much, that's why I use Drupal, because what Drupal allows you to do is put extensions on there. And that's what made the application possible, because there was a extension on there called Web Forms, which basically what it lets me build the form, not code it from scratch, but build it based on a blank template. So I just put in what, we want for the fields and whatnot. So it wasn't totally coded from total scratch, like from a bare bones scratch. It was it had some stock stuff in there, but I just took out. Drupal just kind of helps with that. And I will say though, if anybody doesn't know coding or whatnot as much, you will start to code your pages though with basic HTML stuff. There are extensions I think that can help you with that, with building it. I will tell you that. Drupal, I will recommend it. WordPress is also good. But be prepared though, if not all your plugins are free. Some of them might be free for some limited features, but not everything is going to be. If you really want more customizable stuff, I know some of the themes like GeneratePress, which I highly recommend GeneratePress. One of my other stations I helped build was a Bluestreak, which I help run. I help with the website as well. I'm a webmaster on that. That was done with WordPress because at the time that's what we wanted, and that WordPress actually been revamped. It's still in WordPress, but it's been revamped from scratch because one of the problems that I had with it was the schedule page was showing up. It was using a plugin called RadioStation, and one of the problems that I ran into, and this is why I went with Drupal for 95 likes, I didn't want to have to fight with this, was that the schedule, for some really weird reason, was showing, like I had a show, or still have a show on Mondays from, what is it, 9 Central to 2 something. And what it would do, for some really weird reason, when we couldn't figure it out, was it would show it on Mondays, but it would also show it again on Tuesdays. So it was showing it twice, and we don't know why it was doing that. So I figured for 95 Alive, I'm just going to use Drupal because I want to go completely free open source. I don't want to have to pay to, like RadioStation, you have to pay for premium to unlock like different time zone conversions like that. And I wasn't going to do that. I didn't want to, because some of those are expensive, and I will admit, and some of them are legally things, which I don't mind do that. I'm going to try to be as low cost as well as I could without having to, break out a lot of money trying to do all this. So, because I'm already paying for the server itself, CPN, and whatnot. So I didn't want to have to add any more on to just for website stuff. No need to. So, but anyway, that's why I went with Drupal in the first place, and I want to support Drupal community because Drupal, they really have a very strong community. I'm not in their forums or in the community yet, but I'm gonna go try to look into that. But I heard a lot of things that we use. There's a lot of good use cases for it. For Drupal, blogging, you name it. Matter of fact, what actually inspired me to use Drupal in the first place was because the National Federation of the Blind National Office in Maryland, they use Drupal for all their stuff, and so do the states as well. And I was like, if they can do this, I figured I might as well try it because Drupal, I know, is very powerful. I know they recently made some major accessibility improvements on that platform, and they have. They got a dedicated accessibility team that works on this stuff. I do believe. So I figured, well, me seeing the NFT site and how it's done, I can do it. I can code a RadioStation website easy with Drupal, no problem. So that's why I decided to take the plunge and give it a shot. I mean, I wasn't paying anything for it, so why not give it a shot? So, but that's basically, in a roundabout way, that's basically what I look for on the website. Basically ask them what do you want to use it for? What do you want to utilize it for? What do you want to have add on it? And then I give people just give me the stuff that they want, like text and whatnot. And I do tell them ahead of time, I said, images, you're gonna have to get somebody else to help with that because I can't do images. I don't know what they look like. I don't know how they're gonna look on the page. That's why it's always a good idea to have somebody visually look at it to make sure it looks good. Because not all the time, us blind people are not gonna know, what looks where and where it's supposed to be placed, but we try our best to, we just go by what the screen reader says, and where stuff should be, and if we have to move stuff around, we can, but that's really not a big deal. So that's that.
That's interesting. So, did you study computer science or programming in university? How did you how did you get into this and become so adept and so fluent in this technology in the first place?
Well, I did do some computer science. I did do some computer science university. I didn't finish yet because I wanted to, coding, coding is fun for little things. It's not something I want to be able to sit at a desk at all day, 9 to 5 job doing. I like doing the coding, don't get me wrong. I like doing that. But I'd rather do it in something that's going to be like productive, but not, I mean, I know people do it for, banking and stuff like that, but it's just I would rather do something that's more hands-on, do something with people and not just sit at a desk all day and code. I just after doing a couple of years, after doing like a year or two of it, I decided to take I took a break for a while. I took a break for a while. But what I really want to focus on now, I was going to do the IT business, but then I was going to go back into school and do IT business, but I was like, no, because you have to do accounting. I got all my math done, thank goodness, because all my math's done. So, but I didn't want to do the IT business too because it's just you have to take a lot more classes and whatnot. But I really want to focus on is do assistive technology teaching. I'd rather do the teaching side because I feel like I have more better and more interactive with people and help students out with different things. I'm actually looking at right now going to World Blind Services in Arkansas. I want to do their assistive technology program. I was going to do it online, but from what I've been hearing from people that I've been talking to from my VR counselor and whatnot, I've been hearing in person's better because you get more interaction. Which I'm starting to think that I was going to do it online, but now I'm starting to second guess that because I wanted to do it in person because go over there and do it residential in person because you get to work with people one-on-one and whatnot. And I personally think doing it online, yeah, it could probably be done. But the thing I was worried about was what if somebody really gets stuck and they don't have anybody hands-on helping them, with their location or whatever, and me explaining it the best I can, they don't get it. That's my thing. That's my thing. That way I could show them hands-on how to, where a key was or whatever, if they're like really new to the computers or something, or, like if they don't know where a key was or, or whatnot, I would be able to adapt stuff that, and stuff like that. So that's what I want to go for now. I'm going to do assistant technology teaching because I figure I'd be a better fit for that one than coding. But I would do the coding and website stuff on the side. I don't mind doing that. I could do that. It's not a big deal. I'd rather do that than do it for a job type thing. So, but that's how I knew a little bit of what I knew how to do basic website hosting before then. I didn't really get into the coding aspect of it until after I studied computer science and stuff like that. I did get a associate degree in computer support. That's why I started out technical college first, and then did the computer science. I did do Python, did Java, did Cobalt, which is the stuff that mainframes use. I did that. Had some really good professors that were willing to work with me because back then, Aaron, and I'll tell you this, you would not have want to do this recording a few years ago because let me tell you why. My internet here at home was absolutely horrible. It was to the point where it was a 4G router. It was Verizon internet. We don't have anything to speak of, fiber, cable, anything like that out here. We're out in the middle of nowhere in Georgia. I'm in Georgia, by the way. So I'm in the state of Georgia. So West Central Georgia, as a matter of fact. So we're out in the middle of nowhere in the woods. So cable is pretty much non-existent. We're like in the middle. One side, it cuts off one end, one company one end, and it cuts off again the other end. So we're kind of stuck in the middle. So for the longest time, we had decent internet, but it was 4G speeds. It wasn't consistent. I can't tell you how many times I've been on Team Talk and I couldn't even hold a connection. It was that bad. I'd be dropping off like every 5 minutes or less. And sometimes not even that. But last year we recently got satellite internet from Starlink because we've been waiting. My brother actually ordered it like 2 or 3 years ago. We were on the beta and it took them forever because they took forever to come out here because it was just they were still in the bit, getting more satellites up and all that. So that's how I'm able to stay stable is because of the the satellite internet is actually really nice because it's not like HughesNet where it's really high and when you hit a storm, it's done for. Um, because the satellites are in low Earth orbit, so they're able to keep um, connection better. And so far, I mean, we got it last year in July. Matter of fact, July 27th, if I remember correctly, is when we ordered the equipment. It's all self-installed, so you don't have to buy and rent. I mean, you don't have to rent the equipment. It's not like you pay extra for the equipment. $120 a month, though, it is a little steep, but it's worth it, though, because you don't have any data caps, no data limits, no speed drops, anything like that. It will drop off once in a while when a heavy rain thing comes, but that very rarely happens. So if there's major clouds around the area, it'll do it, but it's very rare that it does. I very rarely had a drop off on a clear day. But it's very stable, and I'm happy with it because I can hold a Zoom call or Team Talk or Skype even. Yes, I still have Skype, believe it or not. Don't use it often, but I still have it. Or I can watch YouTube streams. Recently, I'm getting into gaming. I want to get me an Xbox for Christmas because there's been a ton of accessible games out there that I want to do. I want to be able to play. I got a controller last week for the computer, an Xbox controller that I can use from Xbox if I get it for Christmas, which I want to get. I'm going to get the new one, the One S. I don't need a CD drive. I don't need any of that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's how my bad my internet was before. It was horrible, absolutely horrible. And Liz can tell you, she's seen me by internet. It was bad. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much that how I'm a little background there. I forgot to tell you, I'm also a hammer operator as well. I'm a license. Got that when I was the Louisiana Center for Deployment back in 2014. I went there for independent living training. Was able to get that license done and still planning on renewing it. It's still active right now, but I'm planning on renewing it this year. So keep up with it. Don't really have anybody I really contact. We had a mobile radio, but can't really pick up signals very well out here. But I haven't found any really good signals out here to pick up. So yeah. So, but yeah, that's me.
It's wonderful. Really wonderful. Yeah, I'm also a ham too, so that's really cool. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. See, I want to get in the clearing. I want to get. Uh-oh. What happened?
Go ahead. You're
It
fine.
just gave-
Nothing.
It just gave me the alert again. I don't know why it did that.
You're
That's
fine.
weird. Okay. I thought it dropped off for a second. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I want to get into I have an R-Star account. I want to get a node set up. But I just don't have the equipment. I don't have the Raspberry Pi right now to do it. So
Yeah, I have
But I heard
I have a
there's
clear
ways to
node.
do it.
Yeah, I have a clear node. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I heard those are good, but I heard they're expensive though. I don't think they ever go on sale.
They are both good and expensive and worth the money. But I totally understand. I also live in a community where it's very hard to get a signal, even with a good antenna. So I don't know.
What do you have? 4G or fiber? Or what do you have?
I think we're on pretty sure I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Well, no, the reason why I was asking that
Yeah.
because you were on the Discord. You were on Discord yesterday, and Liz said you kept dropping off left and right and center like crazy. What was that all about?
Yeah, I don't know what that was
Yesterday.
about. I don't know. In certain servers on Discord, especially with group calls, the signal can go in and out and fly. I don't know what was going on yesterday. And then it got clear, and then it cleared up too. I don't know. It might have been my headset that I was wearing. Might have been somehow the Bluetooth might have been interfering with it because anytime I turned off the headset, and just use the normal speaker, I didn't have any more problems. So I don't know. It's weird though. Discord has its moments for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like Discord as well. I haven't had any issues with mine because I use Bluetooth. My hearing to Bluetooth. I connect my hearing to the computer and I just use them as a speaker. I don't use it as a microphone because, well, I could use it as a microphone, but I really don't want to do that. I use my Yeti right now. That's what I'm on right now, my Yeti.
Me too.
So,
Yeah, I have a Blue Yeti. Exactly. Yeah.
oh yeah. Blue Yeti, I'll tell you what, is the best mic ever. I know people say, oh, you should get a mixer. You should get a mixer. And I was like, yeah, I would, but I don't. I mean, there's something I could use it for, but and I have one.
Hmm?
I just don't know. I have a mixer. I actually have a USB one, but I don't. I trying to hear things that I don't know how to properly set up to where it'll hear things. Well, how to use a headphone jack, plug headphones in the mixer to hear things. So,
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, now these microphones are worth it. I'm looking into getting. Actually, I'm looking to possibly upgrade my microphone over the summer. But anyway, at any rate,
Which
yeah,
microphone are you going to get upgrading to?
I'm considering one of the Shores. I'm considering a Shore.
Oh, I heard those are good.
They are.
Those are USBs. They're USBs.
There's one particular one that is a USB connection. Yeah. There's one that's appropriate for my setup. Yeah. It's really cool.
Ooh.
It's really, really
And
good.
it comes with a mic stand and all that stuff.
All
Nice.
that stuff. All that stuff. Yeah. But
Oh man.
just like anything else, I mean, you got to judge whether you're buying something for amateur radio or podcasting. You got to think, okay, well, how much am I actually going to use this thing? How much of a use is it going to be for me? For me, it could be a lot of use. For you, less use. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? But at any rate, if you don't mind me asking, so back to this website stuff.
Mhm.
What would you say, or what would you, yeah, what would you say if I said, so Kevin, what do you think? Do you think you could set up a website for Aaron's Opinion? Because we've always needed one, and there's several things that I would like to be able to do, and a website would help. So what do you think?
We could do that. We would just have to have a domain name for it, um, which normally the user would provide. I don't buy the domains. I don't do that because I already got a domain of my own. If they wanted a .com domain, I mean, you can get one pretty cheap, for name cheap. I personally use myself. I use Hover.com, and you can get some pretty good deals, especially when you're in sales. You can get some pretty good deals with Hover. How do I recommend? Because their accessibility is really good. Namecheap, not so much. I mean, I could use it, but it's just a little weird. But yeah, I mean, it could be done. It could be done. It's just they're like a .com or .net domain. They're pretty cheap. You just pay once a year for it. So if you can get a domain name, I'll be happy to host you one. I just I gotta fix my box at the moment. My box is being weird. I gotta fix it, but I can set you up with email. I can set you up with the website stuff. And whatnot. I can host it on my box if you want me to, or if you have a box in mind, I can put it on there. I can connect to your box and do it, or whatever. I can be flexible, work with that. So whatever you want to do.
Interesting.
So.
Interesting. I will certainly look into that. And then how would the website look, and like what would the website actually have,
Depending on what you wanted. I mean, what you want. I mean, if you wanted like an RSS feed, like put an RSS feed from what is that thing? What's the host you use? Speaker. If you wanted to put that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I'm looking for a second.
Yeah, that's
Speaker,
that's
if you
what I use.
wanted to put
Speaker.
Speaker's
Yeah.
RSS feed up there, you could. I believe there's a way to integrate Speaker's thingy into a website. I don't know. I have not played with Speaker in so long. I used to use it a long time ago, but I haven't played with that in so long. Yeah. Trying to think. You can also put your Google Google group sign up form. You could put a link to the group people to sign up for. You could put a link up there. You could put a contact page. You could put What else? Like on ideas, suggestions for guests page or something like that. If people want to fill out a form, you'll get responses back from an email, or you can do that. There's a lot of possibilities. There's a lot of possibilities you could do. Just depends on how you want it. I'm going to try to figure it out. So, but yeah, it depends on how you want it. How you want it laid out. I can work with whatever you want with that. So
Interesting. Yeah,
and
interesting.
I recommend for a basic website something that's not traffic heavy. The least expensive server I'd recommend is Linode. The cheapest server they have is $5 a month. It's called Linode. It only gives you 2 gigs, 2 gigs of RAM, and 20 gigs of disk space, I believe. But that should be playing for a website. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a heavy traffic. I don't know how much traffic you expect. That's something you got to consider too when you're buying a box like that. You have to have considerations of how much traffic am I going to predict that I need. And I got the dedicated box from OVH because it's $25 a month, but it's worth it because I figured I want to go dedicated because see the thing is with VPS is you're sharing resources with other people, and sometimes if that thing gets bogged down, you're gonna have slow speeds or slow website loading pages. So it's not necessarily the internet's fault. It's just the server having to work through the load. But there are some cheap options out there if you really want to go cheap, but still get good quality out of it. If you really want to go the cheap route, you could. I've heard people that use Linode a lot, and they haven't had any issues with them. Their support is awesome. Their support is great. Their phone support's great. Their email support is awesome too. They usually get a pretty fast turnaround on things. Trying to think. Yeah. So if you want to go that route, you could, and then you can always upgrade your plan later if you think you need more. But yeah. I've seen people host small radio stations on Linode as well. That can be done. But keep in mind the higher plans you go, the more expensive it gets. So keep that in mind. But my box I have is $24 a month. It's OVH. It's a dedicated box, so it's not a VPS. It's not shared with anybody. It's got 32 terabyte drives in it. And I guess the reason why I put that was because I figured I needed space. Because I host radio stations as well, radio stations for people. So I figured I need space for all the music files. There's no way I'd be able to do that in Linode. Absolutely no way. I ran out of space in a heartbeat. So I actually convinced Liz to get one of those too because she was. We had Linode at one point, but we were out of storage. So I convinced her to get one of those. We tried Contavo at one point, but they had issues. So we tried them for a while and. Nothing against Contavo, you're great. It's just we had a problem where the server went down for no reason and Contavo didn't contact us telling us what was wrong and ended up coming back like a day later or two later. So, but it was a point where we had downtime for a while. We didn't expect it. And that's why we switched to OVH because it was better. So and that's what I recommend. And I told her that's what I recommended. I used. So I highly recommended it. So yeah, she got the same box I got. Exactly the same one. I think it's like 16 gigs of RAM, 3 terabyte drives. So it's good. It's good. So and I was able to put station stuff on one drive only. So her station on one drive only. My station was on one drive only. So just dedicate one drive to that. So it works. I mean. Whatever you want to do, I mean, if you feel like you need to wait for a little while, you can. I mean, I know I'm in no rush, but I'll be happy to help you whenever you're ready to do the website. So I can use Drupal, whatever. If you want me to do that, I can. So yeah.
Yeah, super good. No, I'll certainly let you know. And certainly if you can send me more information about how these things work and what you said the cheapest place to get started is and all that stuff. if you can send me all that info too, that would be very helpful to me, so I can learn about it a little bit more, of course. But it all sounds very good
Yeah,
and very.
OVH I recommend because you have a lot more storage to work with. It's called the Eco Cloud, is what it is. It's OVH Cloud. I will send you their website. I'll send you their website for that, and you can look at their prices and look at their specs and see what you need. I'd highly recommend that. I think you'd rather have a little more too much storage than not enough, to be honest with you, because of the fact that you never know what you might need that storage for. So better than have a lot more than you need because you never know what you might need. I'd highly recommend that because $25 a month though, you can't beat that. You really can't. So that's what I would suggest. No, it's just my recommendation, but like I said, the cheapest Linode they have is $5 a month. That's the cheapest plan they got. So yeah, it's Linode.com. If you want to look at their plans, you can look at what they got. And that's the only two I can really think of. The other ones are a little too more expensive. The other ones are a little more expensive, and I wouldn't recommend those because they can get high in price, especially dedicated boxes can. But
Mhm.
the two cheapest ones I can recommend, Linode and OVH. So
Right, and
anything
those would be
else,
right, and
yeah.
those two companies would be where I could potentially buy a domain name and things like that, and like get it set up through that company. Something.
Well, you can't buy a domain through Linode and you can't buy a domain through OVH. But I would recommend buying that. The domain name I would recommend is Hover. Get it from hover.com.
Okay.
Just type in the domain, search what you want for the domain, and it'll give you a price. Sometimes what it will do, if it runs a sale, it'll be lower for the first year, and then the highest I've seen like $15 a year, but it's not bad at all.
Mhm.
Depending on what kind of domain you wanted, like a .com or XYZ. I think mine's like 15 a year for XYZ, which is not bad. So, but how do I recommend? Namecheap, you could go with that, but Namecheap's a little more trickier to get around. It can be done. It's just, yeah. So, but however, I would highly recommend. They got good phone support as well. So if you have any problems, they can help you if you have issues. So Namecheap, I don't think they have phone support. No, they don't have phone support that I know of, or they do, it's in another country and you can't. Yeah, but Heather has USB support, so we would call the 800 number and talk to them.
Well,
So,
Kevin, this
oh,
all
and by the way, whatever you do, stay away from GoDaddy. I heard bad things about GoDaddy. I heard they're pricey. Don't go there. So I'm just telling you, but people have had bad experience with that. So nothing against GoDaddy. I know a lot of people use them, but I've heard a lot of people have problems with them. So, or not issues, but price wise. So,
right.
but that's my recommendations. I mean, I can send you I can text you the websites later, but yeah, or give you direct links to these. So
Yeah, please,
I
yes, please.
believe I think Hover has a referral. I'll have to look.
Yeah,
And see if they
no,
have a
yeah. If you can
referral
send me
program.
all three of those pieces of information later, I'd be able to make an informed decision about it. But it's all really great to learn from you. This is really fascinating because I think that a lot of blind people, are really turned away from IT and this type of thing. And I just think it's so good that you're so willing to help other blind people and so willing to to set this up for people. That's definitely in very good spirit in the community for sure. So yeah.
Yeah, blind and sighted alike. I do both. I haven't had any sighted clientship websites, but doesn't mean that it can't happen. So
Right. So in other words, you don't want to make it your job to build people's websites, but you could if you needed to, I
I
guess.
could
Yeah.
if I really wanted.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I
I could.
see.
If it's just technology thing fell through, teaching fell through,
Mm-hmm.
I could do that as a secondary thing.
Right.
I
Right.
could do a paid. I could get paid for that. I really could
Mm-hmm.
get paid for that. Really, seriously, I could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Probably charge by the hour if I did do paid, but so depending
Right.
how much content was done.
Right.
That's
Right.
what if I were to charge for website stuff, that would probably what be. It would be by the hour and how much content you have, or how extensive you wanted the website would be how extensive you get. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's Really, really good. So you were saying how you don't really do images on the website. So then what color scheme do you use when you build a website, by the way?
I don't really mess up the color scheme, to be honest with you. I just leave it wherever. I mean, if people want to change the color, I can figure out how to do it, but nobody's really asked me about the color stuff, really.
Because that's sort of important when you have usable vision like me, because certain websites with certain color schemes, I mean, I understand why, I respect the struggle with not being able to see it. That's totally fine. No worries. But in all honesty, yeah, I mean, that sort of is important because when sighted people look at
Well,
something,
of course, yeah, of course.
and then also too, the other problem is then if the color scheme looks bad, then they won't read the website. Not that you would create a scheme
Well, and see,
that
the
looks
problem is,
bad.
I think color scheme has to deal with the CSS styling, which I don't know how to do. I've never had to deal with that. I know there's
Okay.
ways to do it, to colorize it, but I never had to, I haven't had anybody request that,
Hmm.
so I haven't had a chance to look up how to do the code for that. I mean, like, that isn't to say I wouldn't be able to find it. I would just have to look it up,
Hmm.
but I could if I really had
Hmm.
to do CSS. But if I really had to do it that way. But I heard style sheets are really complex to code. I mean, you have to get it exactly right, otherwise they're going to be kind of screwy and like messy.
Right.
Style sheets I don't like playing with because I know you have to really be exact, and
Hmm.
run wrong thing in the code, it won't look right.
Hmm.
See,
Right.
Drupal I think will help with that too, because I think there's extensions in Drupal that you can do that. That's why I'd rather choose Drupal than trying to have to hand code all that by scratch. I mean, I can hand code the text of the pages, do the headings and all that stuff by hand. But I think Drupal does have a facility to style it for you, I believe. If I remember correctly, I have to look. Like I said, I
Hmm.
haven't had any need for that, and Liz doesn't say anything about hers either. So, um, haven't had a need to mess with that. Not, nah, and I get the importance of that. I do get that. It's just haven't had anybody request that
That's
yet.
okay. That's all right. Yeah. No,
Not to say that I couldn't do it, but I just have to
all
look it
good.
up.
All good to now. Let's go back to talking about 95 Alive, because I understand that you do a lot for that
Mhm.
station. So what do you do at 95 Alive, by the way?
Well, I hope produce shows and people request. I don't mind producing for anybody who applies. If they seriously need a producer and they need somebody to produce, I can do it. I'm offer my time to do that, which I can. I do the LJ Friday show for Liz. We try to keep it consistent for certain times, but it doesn't always happen if she's busy or Josh is busy or whatever. Um, so, but I do that. Other people do their own stuff, like Rayla does his stuff, Made a Connection Live, they do pre-recorded, they do all their stuff. I just upload the stuff, I just upload the file they give me, and it plays every Wednesday. And Rayla does his stuff live. So he's got all the equipment to do that. So he's fine. He doesn't need a producer. Uh like I said, um Liz, I produce for her on the Mac. I do it on the Mac. Because I have audio hijack on the Mac to do that. Because I can do it directly from Apple Music, which I like doing. Just makes it 10 times easier than trying to convert stuff and put it on the other machine and then have to move it over and put it in Dropbox, and just makes it 10 times easier. It just makes it easier to try to fight with the darn thing. And so, but yeah, I manage the website. I help keep the box up to date. Besides me and Josh do that. Uh, Josh knows a little bit of links. I actually taught him a little bit of thing or two. Um, he knew a little bit, but not much. I mean, I had to kind of teach him the command line from scratch, which is fine. I don't mind doing. He's learning. Um, that's pretty much it. I basically keep the box up to date. Keep the website up to date, add stuff to it when lose requests it. Um, So, which I know there's things on the plate I'm working on right now. Trying to fix it, or trying to fix. First of all, trying to fix the format of the website because it's all messed up right now. It's readable, it's usable, the links work, but some of the pages, like, or the heading, my HTML code isn't working for some reason. I got to figure out why it's not showing it in proper headings like it's supposed to. Even I told it to put it in headings, it's not putting it in headings, and it's showing the HTML code in plain text, which I don't want it to do. and I got to figure out why it's doing that. And it didn't used to do that when I first had the, because we had to reformat a couple of times because of issues, but this last time when I have Drupal installed on there, it's not letting me do what I want to do. I don't know what, it's being stupid. So,
Yeah.
but
Cool.
that's basically what I do for 95 Live. I love doing it.
It's a lot. That's a
Liz-
lot. You know, that's a lot of value. You know, that's not basically what you do. That's a lot of, thank you for doing that for them. That's, you know, that just makes me so pleased to hear that you're helping other blind people in the community get their word out as well. You know, we can't just have one podcaster, me and the whole community. We need to have Liz and everybody contributing episodes and getting the knowledge and getting spreading the word out, you know, because people really
Yeah,
need this
I know she
content.
mentioned me in the podcast in her episode. So
Yeah, a little bit. She mentioned you very brief, very briefly. Yeah, she
very
did.
briefly.
So, but what I want to know, kind of turning the tables a little bit, is so Kevin, since you're basically the
Mhm.
station manager, what would you be willing to basically download this podcast, you know, Aaron's Opinion, and basically put it into the station so that, you know, it could be downloaded by the, so that Aaron's Opinion can be part of basically, okay, what I want is,
Part of the 95 Alive network, yes.
yeah, well,
And
what I
yes,
want
would be
is
wearing.
right, but I want my podcast to be downloaded and played like sort of automatically, like it's not going to be like a live on the station. It's going to be that you can play these my like all of my episodes on your on 95 Alive. Like, what do you think about that?
I could do that. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a really automatic process that I know, unless I could figure out a way to get a hold of the RSS feed somehow and then put it in a podcast and it'll automatically update. If I could figure out how to do that, that would be nice. If I could figure out how that works with Reservecast.
Well, I mean,
If I could just grab stuff in the RSS feed directly, that would be nice because that'll make things 10 times easier. Because I would have to go and download one by one and do it that way. I don't want to have to do that because
No.
then I have to upload it.
that's
I
the
do not want to do
silliest-
that. But
That's the silliest
I
thing.
can schedule it to where it plays.
That's
at
the
a
silliest
certain
thing.
day of the week.
Nobody, no station manager should have to sit there and go click down the list. Okay, that one, 2 weeks ago, that one. No, nobody, but no, that's just silly stuff. But
I know. That's
you've probably
just gotta
gotten
make it
some
easier for
pretty, you've
yourself.
probably gotten some pretty silly requests over the years too, probably. But
well, yeah, actually, kind of. Well, I mean, not real, not well, maybe. I guess. I mean, well, Liz is actually answering some silly things every time. I was like, no, Liz, you can't do that. You can't do that. And she could probably do it, but I don't know. I mean, now let me tell you this, and if you guys see me when Liz talking together, she always gives me a hard time about everything. I mean, she loves me because she loves me in friendship, of course, but she always gives me a hard time, and she if I'm like not going fast enough, she'll like give me a hard time. I will say that and it's so funny when she does it because it's just it's all in love, it really is, because it's just so funny, and she just we give each other, or she just gives me a hard time all the time. It's
right, absolutely. Yeah, that's very true and very entertaining. Yeah, great. All right, well, good.
that's kind of be a little bit out of the realm of what the software could do, but I don't. Oh, really, internet? You're gonna do that now?
Yeah, I think we lost the connection for just a moment. If you could go back and just repeat that sentence, no worries. What did you say? Yeah.
What was the last thing I said?
I don't know. Something about, yeah, we can do that, something. So I think you need to go back and repeat a couple more sentences back, I think. I think I lost you
Hang on
there
just a
for a
second.
couple. Okay.
Hang on just a second.
Okay.
Um. Yeah, Dad just give me a cookie. So, but yeah.
Very good. Very good. But
Mm.
yeah, we can definitely talk off air about me getting you my RSS.
Mhm.
That's a very simple and a very easy thing to find. So yeah.
Yeah. I did not hit that, you. I did not hit screen share. I did not want to do that.
Oh no, you're
I was
fine.
like,
You didn't click it. No,
no. I was trying to do all that, and I guess I did all. That's my mistake. Whoops. My bad.
I
Anyway,
I see.
okay. I think where I left off here. What was I saying? Yeah. I was saying that Liz gives me a hard time about stuff. I say, oh, I know what it was. Sometimes I Liz gets kind of crazy with the requests on stuff that can be done for the station. I'm like, well, maybe that can be done, but probably not. And she's like, okay, well, can you maybe get that done? I was like, yeah, I'll try. So that's basically what I say. Yeah. But yeah.
I see. I see. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's very
yeah,
interesting.
it's funny. It is funny. It's funny, and she'll tell you, and it's funny. But we enjoy it. We enjoy it. We really do enjoy it, and we have some funny shows. We really do have some funny shows, especially when Josh comes in. Josh makes it really funny.
Right.
He one time he just randomly pops into the team talks that we ran one time and just ran while we were on air and just starts like talk. It's funny. So kind of surprised Liz too. It was funny. That was the last show we did. So yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, what?
So are you guys like I was another thing that I was mentioning to Liz and wondering if you had an interest in it. So are you guys considering starting your own podcast, by the way?
Yes, that is one of the things we want to do. We want to be able to have people. The goal that I want to try to do, and I know Liz mentioned this, but what I'm going to try and do is have people have podcasts hosted on here on 95 Live. Also, I want to be able to have people when they do shows have the archives hosted as a podcast as well um because the Zeracast will let you host podcasts and whatnot. It'll let you do that. Um it will let you do that and no problem there. It will let you do that without a problem. Um so but yeah, I want to be able to have people have shows archives in a podcast as well. Um but also podcasts that I can make into a playlist that will play certain times of the week or certain days of the week or whatever, or certain times or whatever. It'll just pick a random episode or whatever, not necessarily in a particular order. It'll just pick maybe probably the latest or whatever. I don't know. I have to look at how that works. But I will look at that. But anyway, that's basically what I'm going to do. Because I can either I can import RSS feeds, I think, into podcasts or from podcast feeds, or create my own. And I think Azuracast will let you do that. Create the RSS feed. I got to figure out how to submit it to iTunes and all the other or actually submit it to Anchor, Spotify for podcasters, which yeah, and that
Hmm.
will post it to multiple sites. So
Well, or we could work
or
together and I could do it. Because I have the ability to create podcasts, other podcasts on my account.
oh yeah, that could work too. That could work too.
So
Yeah.
because the reason because I'm also trying, as you guys are, I'm also trying to create a bit of a network at Aaron's Opinion of other podcasts
Mhm.
that I don't necessarily produce, but I host. In other words, you would give me, pretty straightforward. You would give me edited audio
I would give you
files.
the RSS feed from the Zerocast or whatever, and then you can just pull it from there. Yeah. Do you have to have a
Or
Speaker
yeah.
Pro account to even do that, or do you have to have a paid account for Speaker to do that? I haven't used Speaker in a long time, so.
Yeah, no, I have a professional level account where you have to pay a certain amount each year. And one of the abilities that I have is to be able to create multiple podcasts. Yeah,
Oh, that's nice.
like a network. So what you could do is you could the easiest way and one of the only way or the easiest way that I would be able to do it very quickly and get get 95 Alive on all the platforms within a matter of minutes would be if you took like let's say 95 Alive like recorded an episode of a show or like a podcast and they wanted to use it. If you gave me
Yeah.
an edited audio file and sent it to me over on WhatsApp, then I would then be able to send that audio file through Backpack Studio all the way into Spreaker, and then you would give me the title and of course the description and all the plugs for each episode like you would see anywhere else, and then we could go from there and like give it a try and see how easy that type of process would be. But it's important to get to get people on the air and to get people into the podcast space. I would be pleased to help. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Or
Definitely.
what if we already had our RSS feed set up? I could just give you that. Can you import that into Spreaker? Question mark?
Not mm,
I mean,
Not-
if you had an RSS feed, like
not
I-
as easily, because then with a new feed, see, because if you gave me a feed, then I wonder from an RSS feed, can you just download and can you export audio out of an RSS feed?
I don't know. I actually don't know if you can do that. Actually, that's a good question.
Because if I could, then I could just zap it over to Backpack Studio and zap it back around the loop back into Spreaker. But no, I think since I don't know, I think the only way that I would only do it like with you in the way that I knew how to do it well, which is if you give me simply an edited audio file, then I would be able to just simply move the file
Wait, so what do you do with Backpack Studio? I mean,
Well-
I'm familiar with that. So what do you do in Backpack Studio?
Sure, of
once
course.
you get the
Well, so
file?
Backpack Studio is where, of course, I set up these episodes. So this conversation we're having right here, this would be basically, okay, pads like 1, 2, 3, right? This conversation is, of course, pad 2, right? And then pad 1 is the intro, and pad 3 is the outro. And then I staple the pad
Oh, I see what you're
Right.
doing. Okay,
Right.
and you record that with Backpack.
Right,
What
because
is
that
Backpack?
has
And then you
proven
just
that's
export the whole
proven to
thing.
be Backpack has proven to be the most streamlined way and the quickest way of getting from point A to iTunes. Right. Mm-hmm.
I really wish Backpack was updated. I know they haven't updated that thing in 2 years.
No, it's super easy to use. It's Backpack's
Oh yeah,
great.
it is. It is. I really
Backpack's
wish they.
amazing.
Because I know there are some things that are broken in Backpack.
Mhm.
Like Google Drive support is broken. You can't link your Google Drive account anymore to it. They broke that. They need to update that.
Well,
But there have not been any version of Backpack since 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
mhm.
It has not been updated,
Right.
which is kind of sad because I'm wondering if there doesn't Apple pull apps from the App Store if they don't get updated after a certain amount of time.
I don't know. I don't work
That
for them. I
would be
don't know.
scary if. Oh geez, that would be very scary if that happened because Backpack is so well. I don't have any paid stuff. I am actually lucky because I bought the live stream part when it was an in-app purchase before.
Mhm.
When it was before the monthly thing came in, I actually bought that. I actually got Backpack when you just had to pay the one-time in-app purchase for the live streaming to get enabled on your thingy. But now you have to pay it monthly with the Backpack Live and all that stuff, which I'm glad I did. I'm glad I got the legacy thing because oh yeah. I don't think I'd use Backpack Live enough to justify paying whatever the price was that the amount of hours. So
Right.
I could
Well, I gotta tell you, Kevin, we're coming to the end of a great episode. You did really well. I'm almost out of time. But just want to say, hey man, if
I
you wanna
hope you
ask
can get
me-
Josh next. I hope you can get a hold of Josh and talk to him and get him on because I know he would. Oh man, you would love him.
Well, how about this? How about between now and then? How about you help me because I want to help you, so you can help me a little. How about you reach out to Josh and give him my info and let him know that he needs to reach out, or maybe off air you can send me that information and I can get in touch. But I would love to.
Yeah, I would definitely send you his contact. Yeah, I would definitely do that. That way you can get a hold of him.
Please do.
I would definitely do that.
But So
I
at the
will
moment,
definitely do
though,
that.
thank you. At the moment, though, Kevin, before we
Mhm.
go, do you want to ask me only one more question to really make me sweat to see if I'm really worth my salt as a podcast? Or what do you want to ask me?
Yeah, well, okay. Well, let me ask you this then. And this is a tech question since we're talking about tech and stuff, but I will say this. How did you get into what made you decide to use Speaker as a host platform? I mean, I'm sure you probably looked at tons of hours like Spotify for podcasters, aka Anchor, what used to be Anchor, well, I don't know if I mean they still call it Anchor for some places, but Spotify for podcasters. What made you decide to use that um over Speaker? Because I know Spotify podcasters is free. You don't have to pay
Mhm.
anything for it. But what made you
Well,
decide to use Speaker over
yeah, well, it's not a
Spotify?
matter of over. It's not a matter of one over the other. It's a matter of Spreaker was easier to use. It's much more
Hmm.
accessible. It's a lot easier to use. There's monetization. It's great. And you can get on everything all at once. And it's just very streamlined and very simple and very direct and very accurate and just very, 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 very easy to
Did
use.
they used to
So
have a Speaker app? I think they still do,
they
but I
do.
don't know how they.
They do. I use it. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh, you use the Speaker app to upload? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought the free thing, you only had a certain amount of time limit if you record in Speaker directly or something, or was that like a
Which we
15,
aren't
20
doing,
minute?
so that part doesn't really apply. We aren't using Spreaker to record. Most people obviously record externally and then bring the files into Spreaker to be uploaded. Yeah.
So if you had the free plan, if you had the free thing, like a free account,
Hmm.
you can only have one feed,
Don't
right?
quote me on it. I think so. Yeah. And if you pay for the full one that I did, then you get full analytic tools too. So I can see what devices are downloading the episodes. I get all the full analytics too, which are really important to understand, who's watching and who's listening. Hmm.
Is it really expensive? Is it expensive for the yearly thing, or is it pretty reasonable? Or over like
I think I mean, it's a yearly chart. I mean, it's a yearly thing. I mean, I think it's reasonable. Yeah.
like what, 40 to $20 a month or something like that? Or more.
No, it's a little bit, no, it's
No,
a
I
little
mean
bit
year. I
more.
mean, excuse me, a year thing.
Yeah, no,
$20 a year or something like that.
it's a yearly thing. Yeah. Hmm.
$20 a year?
No, no, no. It's
Oh,
uh it's like it's a couple hundred a year. But it's
ouch.
more
Ouch.
than more than worth it for
Ow.
all the tools you get. Yeah. Hmm.
But then, let me guess, they don't have a monthly thing. If you really want to go monthly, I guess they don't
No,
do
they
that.
have monthly plans, but they don't, but it's just cheaper if you get the full one. Yeah.
Yeah, the full year.
Hmm.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have to look into that. I mean, I can look into that myself too, because I'm curious now. I have not used Speaker. I used to use Speaker a long time ago, way back when, but it's been forever
Hmm.
since I'm familiar with it. I was like surprised when I saw Speaker in your feed. I was like, there's a name I haven't seen in like forever. I thought they died. I was like, wow, I didn't think they were surviving still because I thought Spotify was over uh, doing them in competition, but I guess not. I was like, wow, okay, there's a name I haven't seen forever in years. I thought
Yeah.
they were done for, but I guess not. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like,
Interesting.
wow, Speaker, there's a name I haven't heard from like, good lord, people start using that. I'm like, whoa, okay. I'm like, wow, okay then. There's a name I haven't seen in like forever. But anyway, so
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Well,
yeah, I
good. Well,
really
we'll
enjoyed doing
certainly.
this, and thank
Well,
you
Kevin,
very much for.
we'll definitely keep in touch, man. So, so
Oh,
by the way, if someone wants to get in touch with Kevin Roberts, how would they do that?
you can get in touch with me by my phone. Oh, phone number. Actually, yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. Why not? My cell phone anyway. Um, you can text me at 706-329-3300, or you can text me or you can email me kcrpine@aol.com, or you can iMessage me if you don't want to use the phone number. You could do kcrpine@gmail.com. That's my Apple ID. You can use that. Yeah. Yeah, that's how you guys can get a hold of me. That's the easiest ways anyway. The ones I usually check. So, but yeah, I do have a Google Voice, but I do have a Google Voice number, but I don't really have any need for it. When I still have it, I don't really use it. Um, yeah, yeah, I don't mind giving out the phone number, but anyway, but yeah, that's how you guys can get a hold of me if you guys have any questions or if you guys want me to do a website. Keep in mind, I will start charging though probably in the future. I would like to start charging because I can't keep. I've done it for free for so long. I'd like to start charging because I want to get some kind of a kickback for it. To be honest with you, I really would. Because it does take time and it does take time to do all this stuff, and I'd rather you know matter of fact, Aaron, I think as a test, as a guinea pig for you, I think I might start doing the charge services for you just to see how it goes. Just to test the waters and see how it goes because I know your work is probably not going to be that extensive, but at least it'll be a testing ground to see how that would work. Um, if you don't mind, because I'd like to see how that's going to work because I want to try to get something that's reasonable, but I don't want to go overboard. For any advice people have with that, the charging wise, I was thinking like go about an hour. Like I don't know how much an hour exactly yet, but I'm working on that. But and how in the content, the amount of content, because I know that's how most people do it. Is they charge by even an hour or how much content is in there. So I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Turn to right to
And
end.
anyway, but yeah, that's me. That's I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed the episode.
Absolutely.
And like I said, I'd be willing to work with anybody who sighted, blind, whatever, if they don't know any coding or know what they I mean, we can definitely brainstorm and work out the details.
Right,
So
right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's all really good. So Kevin, do you know wonderful episode, wonderful episode, really enjoyed it and great to learn from you. I'm sure that we'll learn a lot from each other and
oh,
we'll see.
definitely.
Absolutely.
And
All right, man.
I'll definitely get you in touch with Josh too, because I know you want to email. I mean you want to email. Well, I know you want to do an episode with him since he's in the
Right.
Incredible Live team, and that'll pretty much cover at least the me management team at least.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. All right. All right. Well, very good. So, do you know how we end an episode here at Aaron's Opinion?
Actually, no, I don't actually.
That's totally fine. I'll tell you. We say thank you for listening and help one
Thank you
person
for
today.
listening, guys.
And help
Thank
one
you.
person today, help 1 million people tomorrow. For those of you who are still surviving on YouTube, don't forget to like the video, comment below, and tickle the bell notification to know when we go live next on YouTube. All right, then, Kevin. Well, we will certainly be in touch. And thank you. Thank you for a great episode. And of course, have a good evening. So we'll be in touch. Take care.